Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott. There's Dave. I forget where over there on the other side of the movie poster to this wonderful, wonderful slice of history right out of the 70s.
Wonderful?
No, not wonderful at all. Folks, sometimes you can't detect sarcasm, but it is there. We are full of it. That's not the only thing we're full of.
Missed it.
1970 somethings. Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park. Later, also re-released off a bootleg as Attack of the Phantoms, and then
Wow, this movie.
wow is right.
Yeah, Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park.
The park.
It's bad.
Where to begin?
I was trying to think of something nice to say about it.
Here, I can say some nice things. There's some good music. It's got a great soundtrack, except for one song, the made-for-movie song, Rip and Destroy, which is a bastardized version of Hotter Than Hell. It's very cringeworthy. It's very, I don't know what they were trying to do. This obviously was shot very quickly at Magic Mountain in between shows, I'm guessing. Kiss, actually, damn near everybody in this movie could not act. I don't even know where to start. What's that?
I said, what do you mean, damn near?
I still think maybe the park owner had some chops on him a little bit, but
yeah, forgot who he was in real life, but I think he was a character actor, but he may have actually been one of their agents or some shit. I don't remember. Well, it's hard to remember all the crap that.
So let me back up with this. I have heard about this movie for a long time, and I don't ever recall seeing it, but it was a big TV event when it came on. My wife was telling me about how the family gathered around. I love this. The family gathered around as Kiss. Kiss is on TV. Folks, if you don't know who Kiss is, you're under a damn rock. Just the hottest band in the world. But not in this movie. It's just comical, dude. This is a hard to find movie. You will have to buy a bootleg somewhere to watch it. And there are good copies out there. I was able to snag one off eBay, which is beautiful, gorgeous transfer, looks great, sounds great, except the movie is not great. And I'm going to talk about the good real quick.
Real quick. I want to interject real quick.
Yeah.
On this disc that you have, did they update the special effects?
No.
Or are they still the same crappy special effects?
Oh, it's still very crappy.
Because there's a guy on YouTube who took some of those, and I meant to send you a link, but I completely forgot.
I saw that when I was searching for this movie. I ran across that there was
a dude on YouTube who took the special effects, and he made it look good. That doesn't change how bad the movie is at all.
There's not much you could do with that.
He did a nice job on the special effects, and he explains every step by step how he did it, and then he shows the effects. I'm sorry, I just had to ask.
No, and that's cool. No, what I got is it looks like a regular. It's a release. I have a widescreen release, so they obviously did something to make it look widescreen, and then also it came with the 4:3 ratio TV release. I watched the widescreen release. Whoever ripped this movie did such a good job, and I'm not an advocate for piracy, but I can't find this movie anywhere. So, Gene Simmons, you're missing out.
Well, no, I think Gene Simmons actually did something. I want to say he did something with this movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe he did, but
he sold it like in a special package. Maybe?
When I think they might have. It's hard to tell, but when I was looking for this and then looking at the history of how this was made and everything, I ran across a lot of articles and interviews that talked about how Gene and Paul, you do not mention this movie to them at all.
Oh no.
Which shocks me because they could actually be selling it, because I'm going to tell you something. This movie is horrible.
Oh yeah.
But as such a massive Kiss fan from the beginning, as a wee lad, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed seeing Kiss. I enjoy the concert footage. Every time I watch a movie like this, I want to go watch more concerts and everything.
Right.
I've seen Kiss multiple times live. It's always an amazing show. And just getting to see, I'm just such a fan. I'll admit this movie's horrible, but I'll watch it again.
It is horrible. I think I saw Kiss in concert once back in the 80s, but being the 80s and me being who I was at the time.
Yeah, the 80s is a different era
Really,
for Kiss.
really kind of a like I think they were just getting their makeup back on at that point.
Yeah, they were probably
I'd have to ask my buddy Dave
yeah.
whether Dave, did we ever go to a Kiss concert or did we go to Kabuki? I'm not sure.
No, the makeup was off in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I want to say they started putting it back on because
they didn't put it back on again until 2000 or something like that.
Oh, maybe I saw them whenever they just took it off, or
or right at that cusp.
Yeah, right,
so,
right around there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dig through the. I think they took it off after Creatures of the Night. So somebody will probably correct me out there.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but that was the good. That was the good part. That was the good part. I read that they didn't have enough time to make an original song, which they wanted to do. So they just took Hotter Than Hell and changed the words to Rip and Destroy and made it some sort of anthem that
didn't work.
Now, we really ought to talk about the synopsis of this movie because it makes about as much sense as the movie did.
Yeah, it's bad. I just was looking through some trivia, but go ahead. You
okay.
Synopsis because I can't figure it out.
All right, here's the deal. Here's what I've pieced together, and this is, I'm going to tell you what, I may not know who killed Captain Alex, but I could at least follow it. I don't know who killed that Captain Alex, but I kind of followed what was going on with Tiger Mafia. Not so much. We needed the Tiger Mafia here.
Yeah, we needed Tiger Mafia in this. They would have had some decent villains to fight then, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Who killed Captain Alex?
But anyway, as I was saying, this was about as well. I don't know. This is worse. This is worse than Who Killed Captain Alex.
This had a lot bigger budget even back then.
Yeah, it had a pretty good sized budget. But so what I could gather from the synopsis is there was this mad scientist who happened to have a job at an amusement park building animatronics. Now people think Westworld, which came out around the same time. So that was the vibe I got. Here's an amusement park. And when you go to amusement parks, you see animatronics, at least you used to. I don't know now. They're probably holograms and stuff. So the same concept. This scientist was, I guess he was kidnapping people and putting just a resistor on their neck and turning them into mind control. I'm lost now.
It was mechanical acupuncture. Like he knew right where to put that
electrode or resistor or whatever. It was something he would have got a Radio Shack, and they
probably
did.
You remember those old handheld radios?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is.
Or maybe very, very early 80s.
Yeah.
One of those, like you take the back off of that, took a little thing out, put it on their neck. Mind control.
I guess it was like the Borg, but not really. But yeah, so he was doing that, and he wanted. I'm not sure. I lost it somewhere. Why he wanted to destroy Kiss? I don't know why he wanted to destroy Kiss and why he wanted that park destroyed. I'm lost.
I don't know why he wanted the park destroyed. I don't know why he wanted to destroy Kiss. I think he was trying to steal their diamonds or their jewels that were in that box because that's.
But we don't know what the talisman did. We have no idea.
All we know is that gave him their power, but then he failed at that, or he did do it, and they still had
their power. Yeah.
So I'm like,
there were no stakes. There were no stakes in this movie.
No.
At no point was anybody really in any danger of anything other than a bad time.
Other than a bad movie.
Than a bad movie. I don't know why they were interested in that girl at all. Paul all of a sudden acted, hey, and then Star Child. Okay, and here's a little bit of trivia real quick. When you watch this movie, you will never hear Peter Criss. That is not his voice at all in the movie.
Right, it was dubbed.
It was all dubbed in because I guess he was shit-faced the whole time.
Well, yeah. Him and Peter Criss were both stoned and drunk the whole fucking time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's very obvious.
It says here, Peter Criss was dubbed because he wouldn't show up to do the looping. That's the re-recording for the voices. Yep. His voice was dubbed by voiceover artist Michael Bell, who I have heard of, who did a lot of work for Hanna-Barbera. Bell appeared in Michael Bell, which has one filming location in common with this one, Six Flags Magic Mountain. So evidently this guy showed up somewhere in this movie, actually showed up. According to Paul Stanley, real quick, in Kiss
Please.
Beyond the Makeup 2001, Ace Frehley often failed to show up for shooting, so Frehley's stunt double, Alan Olney, an African American, had to act in some of the scenes and fill in for Frehley.
Which is painfully obvious when you look at him.
Some of the fight scenes. Olney's voice was also overdubbed in sound, like Frehley's. There are differing versions as to whether Frehley or a sound-alike did the overdubbing. I will go out on a limb and say a sound-alike. Somebody went in and did it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's there's just so much bad in this movie. Just bad. It's just bad.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I don't want to go too deep into the questions.
There's really not much to go into other than I found it very interesting that this was made by Hanna-Barbera, and I love seeing the Scooby-Doo head in the lab there. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But Hanna-Barbera was not the team for this movie, I don't think. This needed a different hand at it, and I don't know who that would have been.
They could have made this work.
Yeah.
They needed to do, and I think what they were trying to do was comic book, but they were trying to do comic book. Remember the Justice League cartoon from the 70s where, it was really heavy-handed with the messaging kind of thing?
Yeah.
They were missing the messaging in this. If they would have had some message in here, I would have went, oh, damn, that's heavy-handed. But I would have been like, okay, I get it. It's of the time.
Yeah. I see that.
They should have went, if they were going to do this as a comic book movie, they should have went Wonder Woman or The Incredible Hulk. Those were the two best comic book shows on television at the time. And that's what they should have kind of brought in, but they didn't. They failed. They failed a lot. They failed miserably.
They did. And it was obviously rushed. Look, Kiss was a hot item at the time. They had just released their solo albums. But this is also pretty much the downfall of the original members of Kiss. This is pretty much their breaking point.
Right.
And you can go find where Ace and Peter both talk about that. This is, they didn't agree with this movie. They didn't want to do this movie. They thought it was a bad idea. And they were right. But I still think they need to re-release it right now and keep making that money.
I say that, yes, because I say the same thing about the Fantastic Four movie that we
absolutely
recently talked about,
and the Star Wars Holiday Special.
and what? I'm sorry.
And the Star Wars Holiday Special. Release that thing.
That can be burned.
No. I think everybody. You may have that special someone in your life that you want to torture, and you tie them to a chair and make them watch that.
Tie that to the chair. If you have children or grandchildren, you're like, this is what I had to watch during the holiday. You're watching this during the holiday.
Yeah, I think kids would be fine with it.
yeah, little kids.
Babies, infants that can't even have. I about said that just open their eyes, but I'm talking about cats.
I do have one story about this real quick.
Yes, please.
One of the co-writers on this movie was a guy named Don Boudet. Don Boudet was a very close personal friend of my father's, which is why we watched this movie back when it first came out, which is a terrible movie. All agreed. Yeah, 1978 it showed when it came out.
Okay.
But Don Boudet went to California, and he's from Michigan, like where my old man was from. And everybody said he was crazy. And he went out to California to become a writer. He followed his dream. He became a writer. This is not his best movie. No. And I actually went on to see what other movies he may have done. And he's passed away since of course, 2001 is when he died.
Oh, man.
And a couple of the movies that they're showing on here are Too Hot to Handle, 1977. And I want to see this one. Spawn of the Slithis, Slithis, and then something called Lost in 1983.
All right.
Now, talking to my dad, this Don Buday's, the 99.9% of his career was, and this happens to a lot of people out in California. They write movie scripts for studios for movies that will never be made.
Yes. Yep.
They buy them, and he lived in a really nice house, from all my understanding. I mean, granted, you want to see your movies made. If you write a script, you want to see it made.
But yeah, I've read about that.
He's probably like, I can type anything. They can give me. He can put anything on paper. He's already got the check. He probably at one point just said, "Fuck it, I don't care. I'm gonna go swimming in my pool now." Help back. You know what I mean? And I one time I thought, wow, what a great job to have. Because really, all you're doing is writing a script, and you don't have to worry. Like, if a movie bombs, they always look at the writer and blame the writer. They don't blame the actors or the directors, but they refuse to pay writers really good money. But they'll blame those effers in a minute.
Yes, they will.
The minute the damn thing doesn't make it to the, win Academy Awards and shit. So Don Buday, it's very funny, and I'll talk to you in private. I have another private story that I don't want to get too personal about here. But it's very funny that Don Buday was a good friend of my dad's. And
that's cool.
He went out to California a couple of times to see him. And
very cool.
It was nice. And when my family and my brothers and sisters were out there, Don found out that they were out in California and they were having a little bit of a hard time. I guess he called up my dad, or somehow he got a hold of one of my family members and like, you need to just send them to me. Well, I'm here. I'm in the town that they're in. They don't have to live wherever they're living. They can come. I have a big house. Come.
Oh, that was awesome.
And I don't know whether they ever did or not. I never really talked to them about that, but I know that they got the offer. And I thought that was very interesting. And it's a very nice thing for a guy to do.
Yeah.
That probably hadn't seen them since they were in diapers.
Oh, wow. But that's cool. So,
yeah. That was pretty cool.
Very cool.
My memory of sitting there watching this movie, because I had met Don Buday as a little kid.
Right.
And I remember watching this movie. And as a kid, here's the thing. As a little kid, I liked this movie. I remember going to school the next day and talking about it.
Oh, I bet every
Star
kid did.
Child and the Demon and Space Ace and and the Cat. And I remember all of my friends just going around and playing. I mean, it was cool as a kid.
Absolutely.
Then I watched it like in my early 20s, and or maybe early 30s maybe. And then I watched it this time, and I'm just like, each time it just gets worse and worse.
This was my first viewing. I can't believe I went all this time without seeing it, but
I cannot believe you haven't seen this movie before.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
I'm glad I did. I'm not worse off for it. I took, it's just one of those things. I'm gonna say this. If this was not Kiss in here and it was any other band, I would be trashing this movie like crazy. So I'll admit it. I am very biased. I love Kiss. I've been ever since, dude, at least ever since I watched this the other night, all I have playing on my car and everything is Kiss everywhere in the house. I've been jamming out again, and it's like, this is awesome. Yeah.
That's funny. I like Kiss. I got their box set. They're like, greatest album. I don't even know how many albums is in that damn thing or how many songs.
Lot. Oh, they got good stuff, man.
On my phone, I'll just hit like shuffle. I'll hear
there
songs that I haven't either never heard or I haven't heard in 30 years. And I'm like, holy crap, I forgot they did that.
Right. And that's the beauty of it. But yeah, if it was anybody else, I would say avoid this like the plague. If you are the least bit a Kiss fan, I say watch it, because you'll kind of dig it. I can look at this and say this is absolutely horrible, but I was entertained, and only because it was Kiss. I'll admit that.
Right.
So your thoughts on it? Run to the hills.
Hold on. I just spotted something, and
yes, please share.
IMDb, they have a thing where it says "Goops," and it says when Gene sets the mummy on fire, the flames apparently spread much faster than intended. The stuntman playing the mummy says "shit" as he stumbles backwards. It's a made-for-TV movie aimed at children, so the language was not intentional. I don't remember hearing it.
I didn't either. It was so bad. It was, your eye wanders because you're just trying to look at all of this.
Yeah,
and it's just
how bad it is. But I'll go through the list. I got to go through the title, the people, because they made the movie. Uh,
Absolutely.
Director was Gordon Hessler. Writers were Jan Michael Sherman and Don Bude. Peter Criss was Catman. Ace Frehley is Space Ace. Gene Simmons is the Demon. Paul Stanley is Starchild. Anthony Zerba was Abner Devereaux. Carmine Carmine Caridi was Calvin Richards. Deborah Ryan was Melissa. John Dennis Johnston was Chopper, and he's a
Oh,
big
Chopper.
character actor. John Libson Wood was Slime. Lisa Jane Persky was Dirty D, and I think I texted you the other night and
Yeah.
said that she was in Peggy Sue Got Married.
Yeah.
She's like one of the girls in the bathroom giving Peggy Sue a hard time, and nobody else is really all that big a deal to have on there. But I thought it was interesting, and it's a bad movie. I
It's
don't.
bad.
The reason I even like it a little bit is because of Don Bude,
Your connection. Yeah.
kind of knowing the connection, and I am a Kiss fan, and just childhood memory.
Yeah.
It's a pleasant childhood memory. I would not recommend it if you don't like Kiss. Definitely don't watch it. If you really hate bad acting, like you just can't get past bad acting, don't watch it. And if you don't like a good script, if you have to have a good script with a coherent story and a reason for the story to happen, avoid this movie.
Oh.
If none of that matters to you, watch this movie. It's made for you.
I do have a real quick, funny childhood story just because it's Kiss related.
Right.
I had never heard of Kiss, but when I was, I think, 8, my brother gave me the Destroyer 8-track. If you don't know what an 8-track,
Wow.
folk, it is folks, take a
Is that
look.
when they're stepping out, or is that the circle with all their heads on?
That's the with on planet on Earth, this Destroyer with the
Right.
4 of them. Yeah.
Okay,
Stepping
that's
out.
them
Yeah.
stepping across the. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that album cover.
Iconic album cover. I did meet the artist of that. Ken Kelly, I think. Can't remember his name.
Right.
But yeah, it's an iconic album cover. But anyway, so my brother gives me that little 8-year-old Scott, this 8-track. His reasoning being is because they are satanic. So here, little brother, listen away.
What a weird brother.
Thanks, bro. You made me who I am today. A Kiss fan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how old I was when I first discovered Kiss, and I gotta say it was probably Gene Simmons, Spit in the Fire.
Oh yeah.
Seeing those images, and as a kid, I was just getting into superhero comics, and man, I was like, these guys are superheroes. Look how they're dressed, and that's all I looked at as a kid.
Yeah.
I heard some of their music, but I wasn't interested in their music as a little kid. I was interested in Kiss. I was interested in how they dressed, what they look like, and it's a memory that I have. There was an album or a concert shot of all of them on stage. Gene Simmons is spitting the fire up. Space Ace is off on the side doing his guitar thing, and Stanley's in front singing with his big hairy chest fucking out, and the cat's up in the. That's one album that I have, and then I have another one that's got more of. I think it's just Gene and Paul, and Gene's just got the blood running down the street, and he's like looking like the demon, and Stanley's singing. He's standing back doing the iconic rock stands. And I just remember those two posters up on my wall. And I don't know who gave them to me. I don't know where I got them, but I had them on the wall. And across from me, on my brother's side, was a Farrah Fawcett poster.
Of course.
Iconic Farrah Fawcett poster.
Yep.
So that was my 70s, or growing up.
Absolutely. Very cool. Very
But
cool.
the artist's name was Ken Kelly.
Ken Kelly, I was right. Okay, yeah, he's since passed. I did see him at a convention. Got him to sign a thing of Destroyer. So yeah, it's really cool to meet the people who create such imagery. So it's like, wow, you did that. So that was neat, and just Here's the thing. I think why I like this movie, what it did as a Kiss fan. Kiss has been around since the 70s. It's now 2023. They are finally allegedly retiring. I don't buy it. Again, this is like the third retirement. I can't tell you how many farewell tours I've been to on Kiss, at least 3.
Right. Like the Who.
I've been to several reunion tours, and it's like, again, we're reuniting again. So
for 2 guys, Peter, Chris, and what's his name? 2 guys that really hate the other 2. They always show up when there's a paycheck.
They keep coming back, but yeah, they ain't back now. But anyway, I think what it is watching this movie brings back all the memories of, because my entire life, I don't remember a time without Kiss playing in the background.
Oh my God. Yeah. You're right.
So it hits on everything.
You can play part of that Satanic Panic.
Yeah. Absolutely. That we talked about on our Neverworld podcast. Yes. Right. But yeah, so I just realized that it's like, there's a short period of time in my life without Kiss, but from that point forward in the 70s till now, almost 50 years later, 40 something years later, is like all that time had Kiss in it. And I think that's why the movie clicks. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I get it. That's shit.
Damn. Yeah. Well, we'll leave that for you to ponder on, folks. But while you're at it, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share. Thank you for our new listeners, our new subscribers. We do appreciate it. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble. That's it for the video, audio, wherever you want to find your podcast. Go look for us. We are probably there.
Scott's got us there. So just hit the button to follow, hit the button to like, and share us around. That kind of works.
Yeah. So thanks again, folks. We promise to have something better for you next week. Maybe.
We're going to try.
We're going to try. Later.